3, 2, 1, go. Welcome to Red Kingdom Sports. Today I wanted to discuss a few news stories that are out. It's really fun to welcome to Red Kingdom Sports, and I wanted to discuss a few of the news stories that are out here on this Tuesday. And yeah, let's just get into it. First, Andy Dalton should be starting for the Bears on Thanksgiving against the Lions. Justin Fields didn't get injured, and apparently based off of things that people are saying, that it's back to Matt Nagy just completely saying that he doesn't know who is and isn't starting. So yeah, we're basically back to the beginning of the season with the Bears. So that really sucks. Now, early on in the day, there was a report that on Thanksgiving, Matt Nagy was going to be getting fired as a head coach of the Bears. And he had a press conference today, I think is what it was, and he said that's absolutely not true. Now, he said it himself that it's not true, so take it as you want. But, I mean, even if he did get fired, it really wouldn't surprise me because he has absolutely no idea how to use Justin Fields. Absolutely none. He puts Justin Fields in bad situations. The play calling is god-awful. He does not do anything to help out Justin Fields because Justin Fields is a dynamic quarterback if you put him in the right spot. He's not a pocket guy. Like, you let him roll out, make some plays with his legs. That's what Justin Fields is really good at, and just Matt Nagy does not let him do it. Because when he played against the Steelers that second half, he looked great on national television, and then against the Ravens, he just looked bad, and then he ended up getting injured. So, yeah, I mean, Matt Nagy says he's not getting fired, but there was a report that says after Thanksgiving he would be getting fired, and if he does end up getting fired on Thanksgiving, what a way to get fired. Getting fired on Thanksgiving, like that's got to be the absolute worst scenario possible, getting fired on Thanksgiving. And then the thing is they're playing the Lions, so they would probably win that game, and then they're going to fire him after a win. So that doesn't make any sense either. So it's just, I don't know what the Bears are doing, because I think there's also, people are saying that if they fire Matt Nagy, they should probably fire their GM, Brian Pace, because, he's the one who put this operation together. From Matt Nagy to all the draft picks and everything else. So, I mean, it's a weird situation in Chicago. It looks like there's a lot of guys that, want Matt Nagy fired. The fans want Matt Nagy fired, but Matt Nagy said in a press conference today that he's not fired, and the Bears have never fired a head coach midseason. So if he does get fired, more than likely it'll be at the end of the season. But he did make the playoffs last year, albeit, they didn't play well at all last season. They had a pretty bad season last year. And this year, not looking too hot either. But yeah, the Bears have never fired a head coach in the middle of the season. So I don't see that starting now and if they lose to the Lions on Thanksgiving, I can totally see Matt Nagy, Ryan Pace. I feel like they would probably clean house if they end up losing to the Lions on Thanksgiving. Now, like I said earlier, they do have Andy Dalton starting because Justin Fields did get hurt in that game. So, just say it, if they lose to the Lions, then I could completely see them going out and cleaning house. Everybody's gone. Like, literally everybody would probably be gone if they lose on Thanksgiving to the Lions. The next story is the Texans cut Philip Lindsay, and, take it whatever you want. He really hasn't had a good season. I think I looked at his stats. He hasn't even rushed for 200 yards, something like that. Haven't had a good season. He hasn't had a good season since his first 2 years in the league. Hasn't had those were his 2,000-yard rushing seasons. Hasn't really played that well. But I mean, the Texans are a bad team just in general. So take it as you will. He is cut from the Texans. A little bit of Chiefs news. James Winchester, the long snapper, signs a 2-year contract with the Chiefs, and that makes him the highest paid player in the NFL at that position. So that's a little bit of cool Chiefs news. And then the final news story that I wanted to discuss was the Taysom Hill contract. And because it's so weird, I'm going to pull up Adam Scheffler's tweet, and I should put it on screen. But I'm just going to read off the tweet because it literally it's one of the weirdest contracts, I think. Like, I'm not huge on contracts. Like, I'm not, I'll be honest, I'm not one that understands the cap very much. But just reading this contract makes absolutely no sense. It's just so weird. So it says, New Orleans quarterback Taysom Hill signed a unique 4-year contract, hybrid type contract extension that could be worth anywhere between $40 million and $95 million, depending on what position he plays. It includes $22.5 million guaranteed. Taysom Hill's hybrid deal is unique and unlike other contract because it pays him a $40 million base salary for the whole for the role that he is currently playing, and up to additional $55 million if he does become the starting quarterback for the next 4 seasons. So like he's basically just getting paid based off of where he's gonna be playing, which is weird because that's a lot of money. And it says it's already $22.5 million guaranteed. So like Taysom Hill has made himself a lot of money in the NFL for being a gadget guy. Like, but I mean, he's really good at, you know, the little things he does when he's in there. But man, that is a really weird contract. And I don't know how the Saints do it. They manipulate the hell out of something, because to get a contract like that is absolutely insane. And it's weird. It is one of the weirdest contracts probably ever. Like, it is, I don't know what else to say. It's really, really weird. So yeah, like I said, I don't know how the Saints manipulate the salary cap. They do some weird things. And for a guy, yeah, I don't know. I'm in shambles. I don't understand this contract. It's so weird. It feels like a lot of people don't understand this contract. So take it as whatever you want. It's a weird contract, but those are some of the news stories that are out. If there's more, I will make another video discussing those. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for listening, and I will see you in the next one.